SISTA Reasoning, GROUNDATION 3, Sister Wood, Mama Leela, and Empress Apple by Rastafari. If and when you cite the Rastafari trod from Comsum to Beardman to Bongo Man, Congo Man, Dreadlocks, Rastafari, you will be more humble and respect the trod of the ancients of the faith. Rastafari. Wisemind Publications. Copyright Wisemind Publications 2018. All rights reserved. No part of this publication may be reproduced or stored without prior permission of the publisher. No part of this recitation may be reproduced or stored without prior permission of the reader. SISTA Reasoning, written by Rastafari, edited by Ras Dario, cover design by Antonio Barrett, layout by Flaco Tafari, published by Wisemind Publications, distributed by Wisemind Publications. Contact rasflaco@gmail.com. wisemindpublications@gmail.com. Wisemind Publications. Unshackle your minds. Table of Contents. Page 6. How did you live Rastafari faith in your early days? Page 12. First sister seen with dreadlocks. Page 14. The acceptance of the healthy lifestyle of Rastafari along with the divinity of Kadamawi Haile Selassie. Page 17. Medical marijuana. Page 19. Sending children to school with locks. Page 20. Homeschooling. Page 21. Support from Rastafari International Sisters. Greetings, Mama Wood. We must learn to respect each other in this Iowa. I call on Mama Omega and Mother Nature to take I and I through this moment as best as possible. How did you live Rastafari faith in your early days? Mama Wood. Growing up as a child, I was very concerned about ones and ones in my community. I was born for this trod because I always looked different, and since I accepted the Rastafari liberty, I had a wonderful time. I try my best to love more closely to the creation and the Almighty I, Jah Rastafari. Empress Apple. My experience in the tradition of Rastafari, I was more of an observant at the same time. Loving the natural lifestyle is always amazing. I never talk about it a lot in my time growing up. I was one of the youngest with experience as a child. Even though there were many discriminations as such, I have a lot of why in my mind. I always enjoy the food, which was very interesting, and when I compare with other people's food, I accept that it was different, and I could feel comfort in the difference, and now I can prove the value of the difference. I am very happy at the moment to know that worldwide people are accepting the health and value of our natural lifestyle, as we eat from the fruit trees and the lovely vegetarian plants around. When I was in school, my friends wondered why I was eating different and not eating snacks like other children, but give thanks to my mother, she was there to ensure that my simple life was kept intact. And of course, if I did not really love it, I would not enjoy it. The discrimination against Rastafari lifestyle created a scare. Most people was very reluctant to take that step to change their eating habits. People would always say Rastafari were not eating good. However, that is due to lack of knowledge on their path. Globally, people are learning more about the Rastafari lifestyle, that it was based on not just good health, but great health. Now I am almost 50 years of age, and I am proud to say that it was one of the best experiences to have. And after having all my children, people would say, "You still look like a child." I think that is the magical part of it, and that's the greatest part of it. People still say, "How doing to maintain my look after having 5 children?" And the way I eat, it was always a wonder to the public and a great experience. I really enjoyed it. Mama Leela. In the early 1960s, I became a Rasta daughter. As soon as I was drawn in this faith, I was caught up in the tribulation of the Coral Gardens atrocity, better known as Bad Friday. My kingman was trotting from the 1930s. He was not dreadlocks Rastafari in those days. He was a combsome and a strict, ardent Rastaman. He was loved by everyone, and he always preaches the doctrine of love. I have been trotting alone with my children from 1987. During the time of the Bad Friday, we were at our gates at Upper King Street. We heard the news broadcast early the Wednesday morning that things were going on. We did not give it any attention. My kingman was home on Thursday. Friday evening, he was down at his tattoo, which is a small house like a shack. It is not a living quarters. It was used for reasoning, meditating, and for smoking the chalice. When he was there, he heard people shouting the word police. The police stormed into the tattoo and dragged him outside. It's a prophecy that was fulfilled as history repeated itself, because the man that came with the police is one of his tenants who rented a house from him, as he was in charge of some dwelling houses as a landlord. My kingman said to the tenant, "Verily, you no know me. Man, let me put on my suit." "It customary to wear a Good Friday suit," the tenant replied. "Is good Melbourne on a kill." The police took my kingman to the police station at 14 Barnett Street. They beat him and locked him up in jail for 30 days. Fined £2 for disorderly conduct. When he was there, he got angry in the police station and wanted to find out why he was charged and fined for disorderly conduct. After he was ordered for release, I went to the courthouse and paid the £2 fine. He lived until 1987. We had 7 children together, 2 boys and 2 girls. 4 are alive today. In the early days, the Rastafari daughter could not walk on the streets unmolested. People curse you and tell you that Rasta woman don't wear drawers, meaning underwear. Mama would. I was told that I, being a clean woman, could not be Rasta. The society was totally against Rasta. They thought it was a bad choice for a woman to get into the Rastafari liberty. Furthermore, there were just few Rasta women at this time and very few dreadlocks brethren. Most were combsome Rasta. They were all loving and caring for each other. You could not go by a Rastaman in the street without him asking if you are all right and if you have any money for yourself. The Rastaman greeting was always with peace and love. First sister seen with dreadlocks, Empress Apple. I could not remember seeing any sister with dreadlocks in my early days except my mother. When I attended the Naya Bingi in the 70s, I could see sisters who had locks. Mama would. I grew up in the Rastafari liberty when she was 9 years old. I have to be through trials and tribulations. One night I went to my mother's house and she cut the piece of my locks. She said she did not like to see her daughter living as Rastafari. I told her that I will no longer stay in her house, as was the same way that she could take my life. I then moved from out of her house. She was surprised to see me years after with my locks and have to accept it. I do dressmaking for a living. My mother makes hats and sees most of them to one Rastaman who is her customer. Although she was so much against Rasta, she is earning money now and have to call Rasta name. Empress Apple. My grandmother now learns to understand the difference in the liberty of Rastafari. Once she would not partake of the food, now she realizes that Rastafari food is the best and reduces her meat consumption. Eventually, she could stop the practice. More people over the world are becoming more health conscious and have chosen the Rastafari way of life and are now reaping benefits. Some medical doctors now recommend that patients eat more fruits and vegetables and drink coconut water daily. I even see people coming to my community. They become customers and request health advice. They look at me, then look at my children who are looking healthy like myself. They now realize that our lifestyle from that time was the good, healthy way. Not only just Rasta way, but the good, healthy way. Because we live in a country that produces tropical foods and vegetables that are of the best value. The acceptance of the healthy lifestyle of Rastafari, along with the divinity of Kadamawi Haile Selassie, or one or the other. Empress Apple. I think that those who understand what the divinity is will come to the acceptance. The majority doesn't look at it within that wide aspect. Many non-Rastafarians are vegetarians or even semi-vegetarians. They don't accept the Rastafari faith in Emperor Haile Selassie. Some people wearing what is known as sister locks. This is created by a hairdresser. The locks are groomed to grow and look a special way. It is good that people are now accepting the wearing of locks. Even the job market will employ individuals with locks. When I was younger, it was a very big challenge. Even when I was attending school, my locks had to be covered properly so no part of it was shown. Today, children can attend any school with locks, and people who are not Rastafari wear locks as a fashion. This is a victory for I and I Rastafari, as no more we are being discriminated because of locks' appearance. In the early days, locks was attached to ganja. I was told that I would not get a job and be accepted in society, and no matter how hard I try, the doors will be closed. However, I have seen open gates to all locks people. Now, moreover, so if you male or female and educated or trained in a field of learning, you have more opportunities to be employed. Medical marijuana, Empress Apple. Medical marijuana is for commercial business, and the Jamaican government interest is to seek financial investors for ganja business. Ganja is not 100% legal in Jamaica. However, Rastafari is allowed to have a certain amount in their possession for personal use. Jamaica, although independent, is still colonized. The government action so certain important matters are restricted by countries of power. The lifestyles of Rastafari in Jamaica have been transformed throughout the dispensation of time. Once there was a serious challenge of having dreadlocks and the use of marijuana, as they were very much connected. Most people in this society think that the use of ganja opens the eyes of the young people. As such, they think it was the means in which Rastafari managed their way of life, which was not written in any. It was such a magic to be accepted. The Rastafari faith on a whole. Mama Wood. Rastafari is here for a purpose and should live like the Christ. That should not be if, but, or maybe. We are sure of what we are doing with that in mind and working towards, we have nothing to lose. Sending children to school with locks. Empress Apple. My children were told a lot of negative things, so I had to impact the positive side to them before they go to school and when they return home. I always remind them that I would like them to create their own job after their graduation and that they have the potential to be whatever they want to be and be determined to fight for that. I emphasized to my children that they must stand up to their lifestyle and reminded that even Christ faced challenges in his day. Vaccinations. Empress Apple. I think vaccinations are not altogether natural, even though my children have been through it to be accepted in school. At that time, I did not have the power to fight that system, but it has an impact on the children because there are few children in Jamaica who were not vaccinated. They did not get sick or had any problems. Mama Leela. My children never received vaccinations and they never got sick, even in the time of the government polio vaccinations. Their father was so strict and did not allow his children to be given an injection. The children were so loved by their teachers that their cards were signed up like they were given the shots. This society that we live in is not run by nature's plan, but by a systematic plan, which is well designed the way it is. Homeschooling. Homeschooling. Empress Apple. I think homeschooling is one of the best when the parent themselves are able to educate the child sufficiently. Otherwise, we would love the child to go to an institution to get that knowledge. Homeschool children need to be certified to find their place among other regular school children in society. Support from Rastafari International Sisters. Empress Apple. Unity is the strength. The universe belongs to us. Mama Leela. The Bible told us to accept the ransom of every nation. International message to Rastafari sisters. Empress Apple. We should seek international knowledge based on what we really want to be and what we want to learn. Mama Wood. Stops bury dead in your temple. Eat right and have clean meditation. Seek knowledge to find out what is good. Walk away from that or bad. Think clean so that when others look on you, they will see the difference and want to be likewise. Mama Leela, clean up your livity and live right and exercise good ways among your brothers and sisters. Wisemind Publications. Unshackle your minds.